One of the most important things to be thinking about at the moment is how is your lifestyle during the quarantine period impacting your mental health? In this video, I'm going to be giving you 8 key things that you need to be doing to make sure that you stay fit and healthy up here during the quarantine period. Coming up. What is happening, everyone? It's Tobias here, bringing you the latest tips and tools to help you go further, faster, up here. If you're new to this channel, we do a lot of videos on tips and strategies to improve your mental fitness, just like this one, so do consider subscribing. And without much further ado, let's crack into the video. Before I crack into the 8 key things that you need to be doing to stay mentally fit during the quarantine period, let's just talk about why it's important to look after your mental health during this time. The first way that quarantine can impact your mental health is that it restricts your degree of autonomy. And so it's really easy at the moment with the current UK government recommendations for everyone to stay at home. It's easy to feel like things are out of your control, and it's easy to feel like you can't do the things that you'd normally like to do. And this is the reason why we often feel stressed and we feel feelings of anxiety, and this is all completely normal. And social isolation during the quarantine period can really affect our sense of connectedness to others and the world around us. And this, of course, has a massive impact on how fit we feel mentally. Many studies have been shown demonstrating again and again the negative impact that social isolation can have on our psychology. It can result in difficulties in being able to focus, problems in managing our own emotions, problems with sleep, the list goes on. So as you can see, this is a pretty serious topic. But now that you understand why it's important to be thoughtful about your mental health during the quarantine period, let's talk about the first thing that you need to be doing, and that is exercise. Even though we need to socially distance ourselves from one another, that shouldn't stop you from doing exercise. The standard guidance for adults is that you need to make sure that you're doing at least 2.5 hours of moderate intensity aerobic activity each week, or to make sure that you're doing 1 hour and 15 minutes of high intensity aerobic activity each week instead. And for those of you who don't know, aerobic activities include running, cycling, walking, those kinds of things. And even though the current UK government recommendations are for us to stay at home, we are allowed out once a day to do things like these exercises if we do them alone. And on top of doing aerobic activity, you need to make sure that on at least 2 days each week, you're doing muscle strengthening exercises. And these need to work all of the different muscle groups. Now, there's tons of people posting home workouts on YouTube, so I'm not going to go through anything here. Just sit down, have a little Google search, and get to work. And the reason why exercise is so important for your mental health is because during and after a good workout, it releases feel-good chemicals into your body, and these are called neurotransmitters, and this includes things like upregulation of the serotonin metabolism, increased adrenaline release, upregulation of GABA, acetylcholine, endorphins. All of these chemicals make you feel amazing during and after a good workout. And moving on to the second component that you need to be doing to make sure that you stay mentally fit during the quarantine period, this is diet and nutrition. Now, this one's really important because there's now so much evidence and research demonstrating a clear link between mental health and nutrition. On top of that, given the situation, eating healthily is also really important for boosting your immune system. And this is actually going to make it so that you're less susceptible to contracting the virus. Just stick to the same nutritional advice that you should be following anyway. This includes eating a lot of whole foods, which are minimally processed, and making sure that you're eating a lot of fruit and vegetables too to avoid nutrient deficiency. The third component that I have for you is to spend time outdoors. Now, even though the current UK government recommendations are that we shouldn't go outside unless it's for food, health reasons, or for going to work, this doesn't mean that we always need to stay cooped up indoors. If you've got a garden, utilize it. If you've got curtains, you've got windows, make sure that you open the curtains to let in as much natural light in as you can, and spend more time than you usually would sitting next to the window and looking outside, as ridiculous as that sounds. Now, this one is really important because spending time outside has been consistently shown again and again within the literature to have massive positive psychological benefits to you. You have improved cognition, better memory, reduction in stress, improved attention span, the list goes on. Even looking outside the window alone has massive positive psychological benefits, as has been identified by this one review by Devlin. And moving on to the fourth thing that you need to be doing, and that is nurturing your relationships with other people. Now, if you're someone who lives by themselves, it's really easy during this period to start feeling lonely. And if you're someone who lives with a group of people, Again, it's really easy to start feeling bored or frustrated with those people if they're the only people that you're interacting with. Even though we need to stay at home, this doesn't mean that we need to stay out of touch with our friends and family. And I think one of the best things about social media is how easy it is to connect to people these days. So utilize that. Reach out to people more regularly than you perhaps usually would. Us human beings, we are evolutionarily hardwired for empathy in relationships, and we rely on these things to regulate ourselves and to regulate our emotions through the mirror neuron system. So use call, use text, use FaceTime, whatever it is to stay in touch, and don't feel silly about reaching out. Because if you reach out to them, you're signaling to them that you're there to help them too. And this is a much better way of guaranteeing that we're going to help each other through these tough times. And so this brings me on to my fifth component for staying mentally fit during the quarantine period, and that is taking time to relax and to de-stress. The link between stress and mental health has been long studied, with a strong positive correlation between the two. But given this is a stressful time period, you might want to make sure that you schedule more time in your day to do activities which actually help you to relax and to de-stress. This could be doing something like yoga, meditation, or even just having a hot shower. The point is, do something which works for you, but make sure you actually do it. And this links into my sixth component for you for staying mentally fit during the quarantine period, and that is taking time to do activities which you actually enjoy. If you like playing the piano, play more of the piano. If you like playing video games, play more video games. Take this time to actually do what you're passionate about. If you don't know what you're passionate about, take this as an opportunity to rediscover what you're passionate about. Take this time to learn a few new skills, and then you can take these newly found passions with you as we sail to the other side of this thing. The seventh component for staying mentally fit is religious or spiritual involvement. There's quite a lot of evidence in the literature now linking religious or spiritual involvement to positive mental health benefits. And so if you're a religious or a spiritual person, take this extra time that you now have on your hands as an opportunity to further develop and mature your religious or spiritual practices. And of course, if you're not someone who is spiritually or religiously inclined, then you'll want to skip this step. And the eighth key thing that I have for you is for you to contribute in some way to others. Even though you might be at home, don't use this as an excuse for not contributing in some way. Instead, use this as an opportunity to actually find creative ways of contributing to someone else or towards your community. Whether it be donating to a COVID-19 charity, or offering some kind of online coaching service, or even just reaching out to a friend, like I mentioned earlier. Do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that you're doing your bit. This one's really important because not only does contributing towards others and being selfless benefit the receiver and you as the giver psychologically, but it also guarantees that during this period, we pull together, we help one another for the benefit of society. And in that way, we can actually start to move forwards in a positive direction. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the hell out of this video. These 8 key components for staying mentally fit during the quarantine period are taken from the American psychologist Roger Walsh. If you want to read his full research paper, I'll put a link in the description below. And if you haven't done so already, please consider hitting that subscribe button below and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, have a great week, and have a great life. Speak to you soon. Peace.